Happy Tuesday. We're almost halfway through this week already and another week closer to the end of this crazy 2020 year. So again, thanks for joining us today. We're super excited to be here for the next segment of Vital Storms webinar series. And again, we're super glad that you guys could make it as well. So before we jump too far in, my name is Austin. I lead the sales team here at Vital Storm. I also have with me Josh Moran. He's one of our founders.
Guys.
And so here's the single reason we're focusing on this topic today, as in the how to get the most out of your PPC marketing company. Because as a new year approaches, as it does every year, the reoccurring conversation of marketing happens across every office, across every vertical, in some form or fashion, with the underlying topic of, are we getting the most out of our marketing strategy? Are we getting enough leads? And within those leads, are they good quality leads, or are they just phone calls that really don't mean much to our business? So that's why we're here today. Vital Storm, we have been in the digital marketing world for the home service industry, just like you guys, coming up on almost 10 years now. So we wanted to take a few minutes today to offer a decade's worth of insights into the ebbs and flows of marketing campaigns, peak seasons, low seasons. And again, as we move closer to a new year, make sure you're getting the most out of that digital marketing campaign that you currently have set up. And as we start to move through this presentation, if you may start to realize some red flags are starting to pop up here and there, that might mean maybe it's time to take a deeper dive and look into what you guys currently have and make sure you guys are set up for success in 2020.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for joining us today, guys. And thanks for being with Vital Storm this morning. Josh, I'll kick things over to you before we jump in.
Yeah. Again, I'm Josh. As Austin said, I'm one of the founders here at Vital Storm. And this is an exciting topic for me because we can come with the agency perspective for you all so that you can understand or have confidence in how to get the most out of your current partnership, or maybe you're looking for a new partnership. So I know that all of you on the webinar today are in one of those two buckets. I have a current relationship and I just want to know how to get more out of it, or I'm worried that I'm not getting enough out of it, or I'm looking for that right fit partner. And so in that search, what should I be looking for? So I think the material today is going to be super helpful. I also think that if you're on this webinar, you're probably feeling a certain way, and I would feel the same way if I was you. And it's that this is a very complicated thing. There's so many things out there. I don't understand digital marketing, or I do a little, but not everything. And so how do I take all this complex, complicated stuff and make sure I'm making the right decision in this partnership? Because it's, in many ways, it can be like a marriage. Well, here's the thing. A good partner is going to help you simplify all that. And so we hope to simplify it for you today. All this complicated stuff that goes into picking the right partner and what they're going to do for you, a good partner really is going to boil it down to just three simple things. The first one is plan a strategy. Then second, build a roadmap. And then finally, third, execute with focus. So Austin, why don't you lead us off on the plan a strategy piece of our talk today?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's exactly right, Josh. So let's break this down as to what goes into planning a successful strategy with your marketing partner. And so we'll highlight on a couple of things that go into this. And sure, the strategy is probably a little more complex, but we'll hit on the most important topics here. And so the first step in planning a strategy is laying out quarterly goals that your company should strive for to help your business grow through digital marketing.
That's right. I know that sounds sort of anticlimactic. Like, I thought you guys were just about to give me the secret sauce. Listen, what good is a strategy if you don't know what success looks like in that strategy? Will you ever hit the goal? Who knows? When I was in high school, I was 6 feet tall, but I sucked at basketball. And I was just on the basketball team waiting for baseball season. And so coach told me, Josh, we got to improve your shot. And so I asked him, well, how are we going to do that? He said, you need to visualize that ball going through the hoop. And I did, and it worked. It improved my shot. I knew what the goal was, and I visualized it, and I set my trajectory and my thought and everything about what I was trying to accomplish on that goal. And I got there. I improved the shot. It's the same thing in every area of life, and certainly in your strategy for marketing for your business. You've got to know what success looks like, and then you set those goals. Look, we all have goals for 2020. We all have goals for 2021. In a nutshell, I bet you every one of your goals is, I want to grow next year. Well, that's not a good goal. How are you going to grow? How are you going to get there? What are the big rocks that get you there? Those quarterly goals are going to be those big rocks. Then you can break it up and step back and find those steps that get you up to those quarterly goals. On the flip side, this is a question. You should write this down, and you should ask this to every partner you have now and every partner moving forward. And it's this question right here. This will save you time. This will save you money. This will save you blood, sweat, and tears. And it's this: how do I know when it's not working? That is a huge question to ask, and very insightful piece of knowledge to know and to have, because you can be on the lookout for that. What does success look like? And then how do I know when it's not working? We've got to have, in a strategy, you've got to have the right goals. You've got to have everything mapped out. And so if you don't have quarterly goals in your plan now, start getting those in there, because we're talking about getting the most out of your PPC company. Do they know what your goal is? Do you know what your goal is? Get those goals on paper.
Absolutely. No. And that last point that you just mentioned there, how do you know when things aren't working, is a perfect segue into the next mix of planning your strategy and that's utilizing the proper mix of services. Because I think we see more times than not that when maybe a home service company is only using one particular service, when that doesn't work, in general, their whole campaign's not working because the one thing that they're relying on isn't working for them. And so that's why we always like to see home service companies utilize a proper mix of services when it comes to digital marketing.
Yeah. What is the proper mix? Well, first, let's ask ourselves, what are the pieces within the mix? Well, just in digital marketing, you've got paid search, which is what we're talking about today. You've got SEO, you've got social media. Inside of paid search, you've got search, you've got display, you've got YouTube, Facebook, remarketing. What should I be utilizing, and what should the proper mix be? Understanding what the proper mix should be is crucial to that right strategy. And generally in life, you don't like to have all your eggs in one basket. And so we agree with that, even in the marketing for your business, but even in digital marketing in your business. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. And that helps you know where the funds should be going, because you have to allocate funds towards these things. Now, I don't want you to run away with this and fire your PPC company, or fire that person who's working on internally on your team because they've got all your eggs in one basket. It also matters where you're at in your strategy, but also where you're at in the size of your company, whether it's a new company. So there are a few different scenarios to really talk through. Let me give you one. Let's say you're a new company, and so your brand, your name is not out there, and you've got $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000 max a month to spend on digital marketing. You might want to put all that in paid search so that you can get the phone ringing now. Well, if you're new, no one's going to be searching for you by name because they don't know you. But you can go and you can buy those searches through paid search. Then over time, when you have those goals and those milestones in place, okay, now we can pull some money back out of paid search, maybe not depend so much on paid search, and start funding a SEO campaign or a social media campaign. Again, it matters where you're at in the longevity of your business. It matters where you're at in your revenue, size, all of that. That's why it's important to have the right partner and build the custom strategy. You're going to figure out by the end of this webinar, there is no cookie cutter system. And if you feel like you're in a cookie cutter system, you need to raise your hand and get some help. But have the right strategy that fits you, aligns with your goals, and then you start mixing the right channels in there. Is it mostly paid search? Is it some paid search, some SEO? Whatever it might be needs to fit you, so that you can start to get the most out of that relationship you have with your current provider or who you're looking for next.
I know that's exactly right, Josh. And the last point within planning a strategy pretty much fuels the first 2 points here. And what that is having a partner in communication that's going to be there to help you plan that strategy, be there to keep you on track for hitting those goals, and set up the right mix of services. So the last point within planning a strategy with your partner is having that partner in communication as well.
That's exactly right. And this is probably, Austin, hasn't this been a point we've made in literally every webinar we've ever done?
Yeah, no, every single one.
And it will probably continue to be so because this is too crucial. It's too important. Just like this, the picture of this railroad, when those rails are perfectly aligned, that train can move fast. And that's how we want to operate our business. We want to be able to move quickly and move fast. We want to be in sync and be working together in the same direction. And without a partner in communication, you can't do so. So, as an agency, I speak to tons of home service companies, and the number one complaint I hear about is that I can't get them on the phone, or I can't get in touch, or I don't know how. And so I think most people feel that way. But as an agency, I also recognize that sometimes we're even chasing our own clients. We can't get them on the phone. We can't get them to look at a report, or they keep moving our meetings. In fact, internally, we made that a red light or yellow light indicator for us. If our client's moving our meetings, yellow lights go off, and we take action, because it's too important to not be in sync. You've got to be in sync on that communication. Now, look, I get it. It can be difficult to have that partner that's on speed dial when you're just getting started, which means you have a smaller budget. And agencies sometimes can't devote a lot of time to smaller budgets because, like you running your business, they're running theirs. But the right partners out there will put some of the right measures in place, or maybe you can request some of those measures, at least a quarterly check-in. We like to see monthly check-ins. Don't miss a reporting review. Look at your reports, go over it with your partner. You got to have that two-way communication. Don't just hold them accountable, hold yourself accountable to that communication, so that train can get on the track and go fast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And those are all great points when it comes to building that strategy for going to the next level within your business and your marketing campaign. But now we really want to take a look at, okay, we've got the strategy plan, but now how are we going to achieve those results? And so the second main topic of today's webinar is now let's build a roadmap. Let's figure out a way that we're going to get to the end of the year and hit those quarterly goals, grow to where we need to grow, have great meetings with our partner, and make sure that our digital marketing campaign is staying on track. And the first main point within building a roadmap is consistency and having that consistent plan.
That's exactly right. So planning a strategy and building a roadmap can sound like the same thing to some people, but they're very different. The strategy tells you where you want to go. The roadmap or the game plan is going to get you there. It's going to show you how to get there, and then it's going to track the progress along the way. There's a story in Jim Collins' Good to Great. You could probably find the story in other places because it's a true story. And actually, Austin, I need to look up the date because I don't remember. I know it was in the early 1900s. Two teams set out to be the first teams to reach the South Pole. It was a race. And one team strategy was, we're going to go absolutely as far as we can every single day. We're not going to waste a moment. We're going to march as far as we can. If there's good weather, we'll go further. When there's bad weather, it might slow us down, but we're going to go as far as we absolutely can every day. Then we're going to camp, we're going to rest, and then we're going to wake up the next day, and we're going to go absolutely as far as we can that day. The second team had a strategy that was much different. Their strategy was, we're going to march 20 miles every single day. Whether we have good weather or bad weather, we're marching 20 miles. If we have good weather, we march 20 miles. And if we end early that day, we end early and we camp early. We rest, we wake up the next day and we march. If it's bad weather, no matter how bad that weather is, we're going to march 20 miles. So, Austin, I'm going to ask you, since I can't ask these guys on this call, who got there first, team one or team two?
I'm going to go with team two because they had that consistent plan. But it's funny. I mean, I've told this story to many home service companies as I've had conversations, and you always hear them pick number one. You always hear option, and team number one is the right answer in their eyes. But I'm going with two because of that consistency.
You know what? I would have picked number one too, but you're right. The answer is team two, the consistent team. You know, we do this in life where, you know, if you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur or you're an executive on your team, and so you've got maybe an entrepreneur's mindset. You definitely are in charge of managing your own time, or maybe even managing other people's time. And so you're probably of the mindset, I'm just going to hit the ground running, pound the pavement every single day, get as much as done as I can. And a lot of times we see that that's how our businesses operate. And if that's how our businesses operate, that's gonna be our plan when it comes to marketing. When something's working, we're gonna throw down money on it. If it's not working, we're gonna pull money out. But the truth is, consistency always wins the race. So if we're gonna plan a strategy, we need a roadmap that's gonna get us through that strategy to the goal that we have in front of us. And one of the key points here is consistency is going to get us there. If we're darting this way and darting back and darting this way and darting back, we're going to waste some time and energy. And like the first team that was on the race to the South Pole, you would think that if you just go as far as you can every day, you'll get there. That mindset actually will wear us out, and we'll be spinning our wheels, and we might march in the wrong direction. But that mindset, plus, you know, going as far as you can is pretty subjective. You know, what if you just don't feel good that day? You might not go as far as you need to go because that's as far as you can. But like the team that had the consistent plan and they built that roadmap, they knew no matter what's going on, we're marching 20 miles. So I imagine there were some days they ended early, but I imagine there were some days they really had to fight. But they had that 20-mile goal in their mind and in their heart. They were going to get there. And that's the strategy that ultimately won.
Yeah, no, and that, you know, it's real relatable when you carry that story over into like the digital marketing world, because you want a provider that not just going to do as much as they can one day and maybe a little bit the next day. You want a team that's going to wake up, go to bat, and fight for your digital marketing campaign per se every single day. And that leads perfectly into the next point of building a roadmap is commit to the process. Because there could be those days that they're following through with those goals, following that strategy, that roadmap, but things might seem like they're just not working. And that's okay. There's those days that happen in the digital marketing world, but on both sides of the spectrum, digital marketing company, home service company, the final point in building a roadmap is both parties here committing to that process.
That's exactly right. You know, this is a good point to kind of take a break in our talk. And you know, when you jump on a webinar, you sign up on a webinar that's about getting the most out of your PPC agency or company, you might be looking for some secret weapons. I'm telling you guys, these are the secret weapons, because it boils down to the partnership and the understanding. If you're going to find a reputable agency, they probably have the skill set to execute on the things you need done. But if we don't have the strategy and the game plan, and we're not committing to the process, no matter, you know, what the external factors look like, then we won't execute accurately. And so committing to the process is huge. If we want to get everything we can out of a campaign, we've got to commit to it. If we want to get everything we can out of a team, a department, or a partnership, then we absolutely have to commit to that process. And so Austin, you're going to lead us into the third and final piece of this whole thing, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And so again, step one is planning that strategy. Step two is building that roadmap. Now, step three is putting everything together. We're hitting the road. We're finally driving now. So the last part of knowing that you're getting the most out of your company is executing with focus.
That's the key piece there, is the executing with focus. If you rewind just a few seconds, you heard me say that any reputable agency is going to have the skill set and the knowledge to execute. But the key is you got to execute with focus. And so sometimes big things show up, or shiny balls, or exciting things, and we're like, oh, let's go here, let's do that. And just like the other analogy in that 20-mile march versus going as far as I can this way and as far as I can this way, it's consistency wins the game. And so having that strategy that Austin just recapped, and then the roadmap to get us through it, now we can execute with focus. And one of the things that's sometimes missing in the whole executing with focus piece is we don't have patience. And so we need to have patience through the process. If you're in home services, then you understand the seasonality of your business. And so there's going to be seasons even in the marketing piece of it too. So our most successful clients, and we're not here to talk about our clients, but since we are in this home services world with you, let me tell you about our clients. Our most successful clients are those that allow us to, with them, plan a strategy, build a roadmap, and then we go together and we execute with focus. And then our clients that don't succeed, I'm sure you're guessing what I'm about to say. Our clients that don't succeed, our own clients, don't allow us to plan a strategy, don't allow us to build a roadmap, and then therefore we can't execute with focus. We'll do our best, we'll get some things done, but it's just not going to be the right fit for them. And every time that happens, we see a failure. And so we've got to set up the strategy right. It's got to fit you. You got to know where you need to go and how we're going to get you there. And then we're going to build the roadmap, and then we're going to execute with focus. Now that we've got all this done, we can't be impatient. There are things that impact our businesses and home services. The seasons impact it, right? Just the change in temperature, or the change in the humidity, or rain, or if you're in the hurricane parts of our nation, or even wildfires, and now pandemics. And so there are things that come in outside that disrupt us. And so our best clients who understand we've got to plan a strategy, build a roadmap, execute with focus, they're thankful to be a part of this partnership when things get tough. Now, we've recognized those relationships out there. When things got tough, they cut and they went another direction, only to find that it's tough over there and over there. It's tough everywhere. And so that's the thing about the industry, is we all go through these challenges together. The right partnership is going to help us get through there. And so we're talking about you guys getting the most out of those relationships. Patience is a piece of it. And being able to trust that agency and that partnership is only possible if you've worked through and set up the roadmap and built the strategy all together as a partner. Also, Austin, I'm cutting you off. You're going to jump in there.
No, I was just going to say, and the very next piece you mentioned, roadmap there, it quickly hit on, and we saw this slide here a few minutes ago, but the next big piece of executing with focus is stick to that roadmap. You know, there's so many ups and downs. Like I said earlier, there's ebbs and flows to digital marketing. And like we said, also, there's times when it seems like it's just flat out not working, but there's these goals for a reason. And so let's stick to that roadmap and have a team that's going to allow you and allow them to stick to the roadmap and get you to where you need to be.
Absolutely. Also, shame on you if you just let those reports that your agency sends you just slide into your inbox, you open them up, and then you shut it down. You need to dig in to your reporting with your partner. Both of you need to be doing it, because you need to make sure that you see the picture. You need transparent reporting. And if you don't understand your reporting or the impact it makes on your business, then you got to have a talk with your partner. You need to understand that, because what good is a report if it doesn't paint the picture of how it's impacting your business? So transparent reporting is absolutely crucial to you getting the most out of your agency. Now, maybe they're giving you the right reporting. You might not understand it, or you might not be taking the time to look at it. Shame on you. You've got to look at these reports, and you've got to dig into it, because like this image shows, you want to be able to look through a lens and see exactly what it shows you on the other side. And so if you don't have a strategy, then you don't even know what to be looking for. And then if you don't have a game plan, then you can't execute, or a roadmap, then you can't walk out that strategy. And if you don't have the roadmap, then you don't know how to execute with laser focus. There's many, many things that we can execute on, but if we want to succeed, we've got to execute with focus. And so how can we execute with focus if we don't know the story that our reports are telling us?
No, that's exactly right, Josh. And I think we could have either done this whole webinar on this one slide alone,
yes,
or we could have started off with this point, because just like you said, it's crucial to understand and have clarity when you're looking at these reports, because I've seen so many reports where home service companies will send me the report that they're getting on a monthly basis and just ask me to explain it to them because their own partner's not doing it. And it's sometimes even hard for me to, because the numbers and the things that are in there is just crazy. It's not reporting on the things that actually matter to these businesses. So again, transparent reporting, big, huge part to not only this webinar, but to everybody's business that's doing digital marketing.
Yeah.
But another thing that's equally important, and the final point within executing with focus, is you've got your whole campaign going. The last piece is, how is your call center executing on this plan that your digital marketing and you have put in place?
Absolutely. So we just took these big concepts and we just slapped you with something very practical. And it's so true because, like you said, like Austin just said, if you put all the time and energy into a strategy and then you build a roadmap to get you through there, and now you're using all this energy to execute with focus, if those calls don't make it through your call center, and technicians in trucks in front of homes, and those technicians in those homes, and invoices coming back and cash going in the bank, then it was all for naught. And so call center execution, this may be one of the most practical points that we've made today, although all these points are super important. You might not be thinking that for me to get the most out of my PPC marketing company, that I need to execute in the call center, but that needs to happen. And we've seen it. We've talked with and worked with hundreds of home service companies just like you guys. And sometimes that's the first thing we recognize, is the call center is underperforming. Now, sometimes the numbers lie, and you look into your system, whether it's Service Titan or some guys are even on Successware, or there's a whole list of other ones out there. And you're seeing the reports looking okay. Well, there could be calls that are getting abandoned or whatever, but there needs to be a way for you to dig in to the real numbers in your call center, because those call centers have to execute. Listen to this. You could spend the same amount of money on marketing in 2021 that you spent in 2020, but just improve your booking percentage in your call center by 5%, and you'll see that money go straight to the bottom line. You can grow your bottom line by simply increasing your booking percentage in the call center by just 5%. And so we were seeing this happen so much for our own clients that we actually set up a call center training program for them. Now, we're not here to sell you call center training today. We're here to tell you how to get the most out of your PPC marketing company. But we could not have this conversation without addressing sometimes the greatest bottleneck in your business. And so, what we find also, Austin, is that sometimes the call center people happen to be the least trained and least paid people in the company.
That's right.
And that thinking might need to change, because think about it's like a traffic control operator. They are allowing leads through your business front door, and they can have an impact on that bottom line for your business. Just like the technician who can sell more in the home than other techs, you're going to have those CSRs that can sell more than others. Let's look into that, and maybe there's some additional training that could go into it, because if you have all that good strategy going on in marketing, but you can't get those calls through the call center, then you got to break down and you got a problem.
No, that's right, Josh. And this even relates all the way back to the point at the very beginning. How do you know when things aren't working? If the leads aren't being booked properly, you could ultimately then determine, if you're higher up the chain, that, you know what, my marketing's just not working. I need to let this guy go. Even if they're the right partner, it could all just rely solely on your call center not booking the great leads that are being sent to you from your marketing campaign in general. So there's a lot of factors that go into these things. But like we've said, again, recapping everything that we've talked about today, finding the right partner to build you a strategy or plan you a strategy, build you that roadmap, and then execute with focus is really going to determine and allow you to know if you're getting the most out of your digital marketing and pay-per-click marketing company. So,
yeah,
thanks again, guys, for joining us. Josh, you have any final remarks on anything that we've talked about today?
I don't. I'm just excited to see if these guys have any questions for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll leave this room open here for a little bit of Q&A. You can either use the chat feature or the Q&A feature. Also, again, I know there was a lot of information, a lot of insights that we shared with you today. There's tons of free resources on our website that's noted here in the bottom of this slide. There's things such as checklists as to what your digital marketing provider should be doing for you, how to have a ultimate guide to like local pay-per-click and SEO and social media, all kinds of stuff. No strings attached, free downloadable stuff. Feel free to check us out there. Or if you saw those red flags pop up today, there's my email, my phone number. Would love to connect for just a quick 15 minutes as well. So
yeah.
So thanks
Who's
again.
got questions?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll leave this open for a few minutes. Let's see here. Still got
a shy bunch with us.
I know we've still got a few people here in the room. So I've seen a handful of them drop out already, which might have calls to get to. We're a couple minutes over. All right. Well, we'll stay in for one more minute. We'll go to 11:35. See if any questions pop up before we shut this webinar down today. And for those of you that are still here with us, we'll send you guys a recap link of all of this information as well today that we share with you guys. All right. Well, I guess we'll shut it down. I don't see any questions coming through. But again, feel free to email us if you guys do have any questions along the way. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.